Leo, what's going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Happy birthday. We are in Leo season. I hope you're having a fabulous season, a fabulous birthday, a fabulous celebratory time. Sorry, that kind of took a lot to come out, but wishing you the best. It's been an interesting Leo season so far. We kind of started off a little bit rocky, trying to gain our footing. Moving from Cancer season, we had the opportunity to really build a lot of love, nurture, support for ourselves. And then Leo season really helps us bring it out to the world, find our internal pride, confidence, that ability to kind of put our best self forward. And it's being met with some resistance, definitely. We have 4 planets in retrograde right now. Chiron is also in retrograde. Retrogrades focus on the things that we kind of need to look at, that we need to pay attention to in order to find a little bit more grounding and stability, right? The things that aren't necessarily working, the relationships, the dynamics that need more attention, etc. And Mercury retrograde has definitely focused on those relationship dynamics. And it actually has been a pretty positive one, so to speak, because it's giving us the opportunity to work things out, right? Like, there is tension, but it's not in a way that it can't be overcome. And if it can, it's actually a really good thing. But where we're coming into some of the difficulty is when there is resistance, or someone saying one thing to our face and then doing a completely different thing behind our back. That's what we really have to pay attention to right now. All those other planets in retrograde are all the outer planets, and so they're teaching us deeper spiritual lessons, and we definitely have to pay attention when those lessons are around who and what we're communing with, who and what we're allowing into our life that might not be the most supportive. We also have a full moon in Aquarius to wrap up this week, and Mercury will actually go direct right after that. So a lot going on. Not as tense this week, like I said, but there still are some things that we have to kind of sift through, especially building up to that full moon. That's why I like to start the readings off, though, with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited. It's a great time to set your own intention as well for the reading, especially if you've come in with something on your heart or mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a really great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are just looking for more of a rebalancing of self, alignment of your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we are feeling good and grounded in ourselves, when we know who we are and what we want, that's definitely where we're manifesting happiness, abundance, fulfillment. That's also where we're gaining clarity around those trickier people, situations, etc. And I would just love to help support that for you in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up, Leo. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Amen. All right, Leo. So you feel like a little bit tired, like your energy feels a little drained, a little depleted. And maybe in a way where like you're just done. Like I kind of feel like you want to give up. Not that you're hopeless. I don't get that. I don't get hopelessness or like despondence necessarily. You could be feeling some of that, but it feels more just like exhaustion. It feels like it's like you need a break. You need some time off. You need some rest. The passion is kind of wearing thin, so to speak. And ironically, we get this fiery passion with Capricorn. So that energy of like when we're just pushing, working so hard. And it's almost just like you're not seeing an end in sight. That's kind of what I'm hearing. I mean, I feel like that fire part of you, that part of you that really gives you that energy and that passion to push forward is because I kept hearing like just a little bit more, just a little bit more. You just got to get over this hump. And whatever that is, you know, I'm not sure how realistic you believe that to be, right? Like if I just do this thing, then it's all going to be back to being settled and fine, well and good, etc. But yeah, okay, so this makes a lot of sense. So it's about maximizing your time and your efficiency. There's this saying, maximum efficiency, minimum effort. And fire signs are really good at this because you have just like a lot of unwavering energy. You can just keep pushing. And that's where I kind of feel like you're just trying to get over this like proverbial last hurdle, whatever that is for you. But Spirit's really talking about like, okay, when we're trying to level up, when we're trying to kind of move to that next stage of abundance, or we need a little bit more support, whatever you're kind of looking for, it is this value of opening up a portal, right? Like opening up a portal to kind of the next step, the next level. And it looks like you're at a crossroads. We have this in your frontal energy, frontal focus. Sorry, that sounds so weird. My words don't always come out the most fluid. I'll blame Mercury retrograde. But you're at a crossroads. You have a dynamic, you have a relationship, you have something that it doesn't have to be romantic. If that's not where you're at, just take it how it resonates. But it definitely looks like you have something going with someone, or you know, a situation, a dynamic. I feel like it's kind of like this is the thing that's exhausting you, right? Because like you're at a point where you have some decisions, or there will be some decisions on the table this week. And those decisions I feel like are helping you to level up, to kind of step into the next stage of support, of abundance. But I feel like it is going to affect whatever this relationship is. And this is a relationship that it does feel good, right? Like soulmate energy is like meant to be. Again, it doesn't just have to be love. These are friends. These are, business, like coworkers, business people we meet along the way, community, etc. However that comes out for you. These are people that are kind of meant to be on our path to help give us this certain level of support. But I feel like wherever you're at, it's kind of at a standstill. Like something isn't progressing anymore. You know, it's almost like it's hit the point that it was meant to, right? Like you've gotten everything you needed out of this connection. Not saying that you're leaving it behind, because I don't feel that energy, but I do feel like there's this energy, or there's this opportunity to move on. There's something that you're missing around this, and it kind of looks like part of that missing, whatever is missing, is lack of communication, lack of maybe seeing things from everyone's side, or maybe it's just kind of hard to go down that road, because we have the moon, and that's the first card. It's also in the energy of whomever, whatever you're dealing with. So someone is really emotional about some things, and I feel like maybe it's even kind of hard to communicate with whomever, whatever this is. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. You could be dealing with another fire sign, or just someone who's like, I don't know, like they just don't really seem very grounded in themselves right now. It looks like they might have a lot going on. It looks like they might have a lot on their plate. I don't know that you're necessarily getting the like the backlash from it. I don't feel like this person's or situation is projecting onto you, but you're not getting something you need out of it, right? Like, and I think that whatever has happened, whatever this communication was, or whatever this shift is happening, because it does look like whatever this dynamic is, it's not the same anymore. As much as it was a very good thing once upon a time, like I said, it's run its course, or something along those lines, where it's either a little bit stagnant or it's like no longer fulfilling your needs to some capacity. And I don't know, it looks like something that happened, whether it was a communication, something happened to kind of like change how you were seeing this dynamic. What once felt good, we have 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, and the Sun. Whatever happened, like, it doesn't feel as good anymore. And like I said, it's not this worst thing ever. Like, I don't feel like there's duking it out. There might be some emotional communication, but what I'm hearing, it's a difference of value, right? Like what you kind of felt about the relationship or the dynamic, it either wasn't being reciprocated, or the way someone talked to you, whatever was said, it just feels a little bit arrogant, self-serving. Maybe some things happen. And again, it's not necessarily a reflection on you, right? Because whatever this person's situation is dealing with, it's like their own stuff, you know? But it also looks like it put you in a tough position too. And that just might be like the things that they said were really hurtful, or whatever they did, it might not have been directly to hurt you or to offend you, but at the same time, it did. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it doesn't look like this person is aware of it, right? Like, and I feel like that's kind of where the lack of communication is working against you this week, Leo, because there definitely is a disconnect. And maybe in an ideal utopia world, we would be able to have honest conversations and come together and figure out a solution forward. I don't think that's necessarily happening on your end, though. I feel like you're at a crossroads about making a decision based upon what has happened. I think your next steps are going to be difficult because they are going to require a certain level of strength. They are going to require a certain level of like being able to, I mean, it feels like because there wasn't either an understanding of how this would affect you, or this person didn't even like think about you, like didn't even put you into the equation. That's where you're feeling the disconnect, right? That's kind of where the problems, the issues in the relationship are coming from, because you're not a factor. And you, in fact, are the other part of the dynamic, right? And I feel like that's kind of what Spirit is trying to highlight, you know? The types, like I was saying in the very beginning, all these planets in retrograde, they're highlighting the types of relationships and dynamics that we're keeping in our life, that we're keeping around us. The Lovers, 9 of Pentacles, and 7 of Wands. It might be annoying because you do have to be resilient, because on some level, it's not your end point. And not that you saw it as that, but I feel like whatever this was, I feel like you were planning on staying committed to it for a long time, or you kind of just didn't think it was going to leave your world so quickly. But it is this next step, right? It's this next stepping stone, to opening up a portal, to opening up to the next thing that's actually going to level you up, that's actually going to get you to the place that you need to be. And sometimes when we step away from these dynamics, we're able to see that way clearer. I feel like part of the difficulty right now is that you are in the midst of all of it, and so it is a little hard to see clearly. Neptune is one of the planets in retrograde. It's with Saturn, on top of Saturn in Aries, and so there is this message of like don't buy into illusion, and trust your instincts. And that in and of itself can be really difficult because oftentimes intuition and illusion can sound very similar, right? Illusion can be fear, anxiety, our ego kind of taking over, and intuition really is that subtle voice. But this is talking about like how I feel like pay attention to your body, like your energy levels, your overall well-being. How does it feel when you're in this dynamic? I think it's going to give you a lot of answers, like places where maybe you're holding back or you're feeling attached to this situation, to this person, whatever. That's really what needs to be illuminated. The places that it is kind of draining you, or the places that maybe it's not this like beautiful partnership that you had originally walked into, or once upon a time it was great, and as it's evolved, it's just not serving you as much anymore. Because this is talking about freedom. You have freedom here. You just need to illuminate what that is. The key, right, to how you're going to move forward is right in front of you. I feel like you're actually connecting with it this week. And even though you're not necessarily communicating with whomever, whatever this is, I feel like you're getting the answers within. And honestly, that's kind of like the only way you're going to get the answers, because I don't necessarily see this person budging. They're just on the defensive. They don't really want to find a solution that works for everybody, because of whatever they have going on. And I feel like that's kind of your telltale sign right there. So I hope this helps. Sorry, it was a little bit bleak during your birthday season, but I hope that this helped, Leo. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love at little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Know it blesses my heart, and I'm sending it back your way.